Back on CBS Sports HQ, where some former household names heard their name called on day 3. Spencer Rattler having to wait well into day 3 at pick 150 to be selected by the Saints. Rattler, who was just years ago projected as perhaps a 1-1, living his journey, and his next stop is New Orleans. Let's dive in with CBS Sports NFL analyst Emery Hunt. Some people do 2 deeps, others do 10. Our guy Emery, if there is a bowl game, if there is a showcase, he is there and he knows this back-end talent better than most who chew on that tape. Emery, I want to talk to you about some of these names, but let's start with Spencer Rattler. Obviously, we are well acquainted with the work sample here, but he has to wait until day 3, and that presents value in a crowded QB room still in New Orleans. What do you make of this pick and the opportunity ahead here for Rattler?
You know, I love the fit and the opportunity for him because we know the Saints are tied to Derek Carr for a few more years, if not 1 season, but it gives him a track to become a starter in New Orleans. And this is the type of situation where this is the next progression in his evolution as a mature quarterback. I spoke with him at the Combine. I asked him what's the most important part of playing the position, and he understood the assignment. He didn't talk about anything physical. It was all about the intangibles, and he said he has grown. He understands what it takes to be a quarterback, and that's going to be needed in this situation where Derek Carr is probably not going to play the best ball, even though he has a good situation. So we may see Spencer Rattler, if not later in the season, definitely for next year, but this is a great opportunity for him to learn, develop, and have a trek to be the next Saints starting quarterback in 2025.
When I'm thinking of situations for quarterbacks heard in day 3, Jordan Travis is a name that comes to mind for me. He's going to sit and learn and wait under the tutelage of Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers has fostered some of this young talent before, a different Jordan who's seeing great success now in the league. What sort of opportunity does this present for Travis, who saw that devastating injury a year ago and his final hopes of a national title come up short, obviously pointed at himself due to the reason they were not a part of that college football playoff? A different conversation, but the road ahead for Travis only looks like opportunity.
Right, and this is a great situation in my opinion because he doesn't have to worry about showcasing his talents out on the field for a team because he won't have to play right away. He won't be rushed to play to show that he belongs on the 53-man roster. He can take his time to get back to full 100%. And you're right, had he been able to participate in the regular season, or into the regular season, they would have gone to the playoffs. They probably would have beaten Michigan, and he probably would have been able to participate fully in the All-Star game circuit and also the Combine event. So with all of that being scrapped, the Jets are getting themselves a guy that has starter-level potential moving forward. And we know this team is stacked. When you look at the Jets and what they were able to do in their 2 deep, they have a lot of talent on both sides of the ball. So if Aaron Rodgers plays just this season or maybe even next season, whenever Jordan Travis gets his opportunity to play, we know one thing for sure: he will be 100% healthy, and also he would seize that opportunity knowing he had to wait 2 years for it.
The national champs catching a ricochet shot here as well. Maybe those diamonds aren't VVS in that ring, but a champion is a champion. Florida State, unfortunately, did not get their shot. We're going to stay with the Jets here in a 5th-round pick in Quantz Spears, a name that you kept an eye on throughout this draft process, lands there in New York, and a defense and a system that really does rely on that talent outside.
Joe, you understand what receiver play is like, right, in terms of playing with the width of the field. If you're playing cornerback in a CFL, it's like playing cornerback in a parking lot. You have like so much space to cover sideline to sideline. And if you can cover in Canada, you can cover in the States. If you can cover in the CFL, we saw him go down to the East-West Shrine Bowl and do a fantastic job with the condensed field of the American game. So I have no worries about him translating to the NFL ball. Plus, he's already a pro. This is somebody that had played in an 18-game pro season already, and playoffs, and Grey Cup with Toronto, won Rookie of the Year. He goes to a situation where he can play man, he can play zone, he's aggressive, he can tackle, and because he's played so much in space out there in Canada, he can play inside or back deep as a safety. He can be a move piece. This is a fantastic selection for New York, but also a guy that's going to make an easy transition to the pro game.
Who doesn't love a little smash concept at 35 yards? You got space to play out there. We'll see how it does translate, but a far smaller footprint here to cover on here in the NFL. Let's get to the Dolphins, who bolstered their pass rush in a number of ways, but tail end of the draft, it's Kamara coming off the board. What can you tell us about this talent?
Well, if you love Chop Robinson, you'll love Mo Kamara. Kamara, to me, I always felt like he was offsides. Like Junior say, I was like, wait, they're going to throw a flag here, right? Because why is he already by the ear hole of the tackle? That's exactly what he was coming off the snap. So now we know Robinson is probably going to be the starter opposite of Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb. But if you need a situational pass rusher, and that's what you're going to get at this juncture of the draft, Mo Kamara can do exactly that. Another guy that had a fantastic week of work at the Shrine Bowl. So and when you're thinking about day 3, you're thinking about guys that can come in, not only play special teams, but also can help out in a situational role. Pass rush is going to be key for Miami, and this is where he fits the bill.
All right, we got one more to get to here. I mean, plenty of these names on the tail end are going to make names for themselves. We see it year after year, 4th, 5th, 6th round guys who come up and make that impact, like you said, not just on special teams, but in certain situational football. The Texans did a lot in free agency and sort of came into this draft with opportunities still in front of them. Nailed the draft a year ago, obviously, with those 2 high-end first-round picks, rookie of the years on both sides of the ball. But we're talking about Jamal Hill here and his immediate impact. What can he do for this Texans team as they really surge towards the front third of this league?
Well, this is going to be a matchup nightmare for offensive players because, yes, it says linebacker, because that's what he played this year. But he was a safety all throughout his career at Oregon. Ran 4.43 at his pro day, 5'11", 6 feet, 210 pounds. But think about this, as a blitzer and also on special teams covering kicks. With the new rules, you need people that can go and make tackles in space that's also aggressive and athletic. He checks all of those boxes, so they're getting someone that can be their version of Talanoa Hufanga of San Francisco, right? So this was a great pick. I brought his name up about a month ago or earlier in this month that this is a guy to keep an eye on. I thought he'd be an undrafted free agent. He goes here on day 3 to a team that knows how to use guys like him. This is a fantastic pick.
That is talent talking talent. Emory Hunt, we appreciate you as always. And don't forget, the conversation always continues on the Pick 6 podcast. Our team of NFL writers, analysts, insiders, all popping up on the Pick 6 to talk the game we love so much. Download, subscribe, and enjoy the Pick 6 podcast.